Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our preschool roundtable discussion. We obviously prefer to do these types of things when we're in person, but with the COVID-19 travel restrictions, we're not able to do that. So we wanted to bring you our preschool teachers and our director of early childhood and a parent to kind of talk about what preschool is like at MCES. So I'm going to let everyone introduce themselves now. I'll go first. I'm Kyle Kubik, the executive principal of Monroe Catholic Elementary Schools. I've been with MCES for 8 years, for 4 years as a teacher, and then 4 years as a principal. And I'm really excited that you're considering MCES for your educational journey for your children.
I'm Amanda Welton. I'm the early childhood director at the St. Michael campus. I have been with MCES for 6 years.
I am Julie Kinsey. I'm the 4-year-old preschool, 5 days a week. I've been with MCES for 8 years, and I have 2 children, one that went through MCES and one that is in 6th grade.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Rios. I'm the 3-year-old preschool teacher for all day. I have 4 boys. They all went through when it was St. Mary's and then MCES. And next year I'm going to have one in SMCC, and I've been with MCES for 8 years, and I'm loving it.
Hi, I'm Amy Boudry, and I am the 4-year-old 5-day preschool teacher, and I have been with MCES for 8 years, and I also have 5 children, and 3 of them went through MCES, and 2 of them now go to different school.
Hi, I'm Therese McMillan. I've been with MCES for 8 years, and before that I was at St. John's. We have 6 children, and all of them have been through MCES, and right now I'm teaching 3-year-old preschool 3 days a week.
I'm Michaela Lee. I've been with MCES for 1 year now. I teach 3-day-a-week 4-year-old preschool. I have 2 children, and one is in the daycare at MCES right now.
Hi, I'm Heidi Galati. I have 3 children at MCES and attended the preschool. I'm also a school advisory council member.
Well, thank you all so much for being here today. And I'm going to pass it over to Amanda Welton, who is the director of our early childhood programs, as well as the assistant principal of St. Michael campus, who's going to talk about the different options we have available for preschool.
Our current options for preschool, we do have a 3-year-old program and a 4-year-old program. Within both of those grade levels, we do offer 3 full days a week, 5 half days a week, and 5 full days each week. We also do have childcare services for families in need, either before school or after school, as well as when school is out of session for school breaks, if there's snow delays or snow cancellations.
Thank you, Mrs. Welton. And then the format of today's discussion will be I'll pose questions and the teachers will take turns answering them. So we hope most of your questions will be answered throughout this video, but obviously if you have any questions, our contact information will be made available and you can reach out to any of us and we will provide those answers for you. So first things first, is MCES an accredited and licensed preschool?
So St. Michael's campus is licensed by the state of Michigan for childcare because preschool does fall under childcare at that age level. So yes, it is an approved licensed facility.
And what are the age requirements?
So for preschool, you have to be 3 or 4 by September 1st to enter into the preschool programs. So that means you must be 3 years old by September 1st to go into our 3-year-old program, and you must turn 4 by September 1st to enter into the 4-year-old program. Great,
thank you. And can you tell us about potty training and nap time as well?
Sure. So it is required to be potty trained to enter into our preschool programs. And then we do offer a rest time for our preschool classrooms. Usually right lunch and recess is over, they'll come in for the day. and they'll rest for at least 30 minutes is the minimum requirement. And then usually up to an hour and a half is the maximum that we have our nap time.
Thank you. And then a general question to everyone, how are communications handled by MCES? So you can talk from the parent side, the teacher side, and I can talk from the overall school side. So does anyone want to jump in on that? In terms of the school-wide communications, the school sends out frequent emails to all of the families. We have a weekly email as well as newsletters that go home. But can any of the teachers jump in and talk about how you handle communication in your classroom?
I know in my class we send home a weekly newsletter, which tells about what we're going to be doing that week, any kind of announcements, any all school calendar things I put in there. We also have a website that parents can go to and see any of the same information. If I need to, I send notes home. I'll send emails. I give everyone my email address right in the beginning of the year so that they can get a hold of me really anytime that they need to.
I also use an app called Remind, and it's another way to communicate with parents, and you can get text messages right on your phone, or you can get it through an email. And it's just a way for me to send reminders quick and easy if I want to send them daily.
Any other communication tools that are used by our teachers for parents?
I can give the parents' perspective. I really appreciate all of the tools that all the teachers use. It's really helpful. The website is helpful to just reference every week or every day whenever we need to know what's going on. They're always very good about telling us what's going on within the school as well as what's going on in their classrooms. So it's very helpful.
Great, thank you, Heidi. So all of our teachers do have a classroom website that's hosted within our school website, and they provide all updates on there as well as through their newsletters, so that those are updated definitely weekly, and it is really helpful. So thank you, everyone. So what is everyone's overall philosophy for preschool?
I like to think that my philosophy is freedom within structure. Like we have a very structured routine, and the discipline is just reminders or redirection if they decide to do something different or out of the structure of what we're doing. But I like to say it's freedom within limits.
For me, I like, I know children, they learn through play. So I have a lot of hands-on experience through play, and routine is very important for this age.
I know I like to think about, especially at this age, as huge as the whole child, whether it's cognitive development, physical development, social, emotional development, spiritual development. We take all of that into consideration, and we make sure that our lessons foster the growth in all of those areas.
I'm very similar too. I like to keep on a very structured routine schedule, and learning through play, learning through hands-on. And then also we learn a lot how to be kind and expressing our emotions with each other, and just being friendly with each other. And that goes with our religion and that also that we do.
And I guess I would be similar also. I believe structure and routine is a big thing, and a lot of the kids can tell you exactly what part of the day we're in and what comes next and after it. We also do work a lot on problem solving and being social and just trying to get along and expressing ourselves, as well as being good friends to each other.
Great, thank you. And so you've touched on this, that there's this balance between social, emotional, and academic learning. So can someone kind of walk us through what a typical day looks like in your classroom, how those two things are balanced?
Yeah, I can take this one. Okay, so a typical day in preschool, we start out in the morning in the gym for morning assembly, and then we have prayer, pledge, and then we announce birthdays or any announcements, and then we all go up to the classroom, and then we unpack our own belongings, we get checked in. I usually have a table activity on the table where the kids can get settled, they do their activity. And then when we're ready, we do our carpet time. And in our carpet time is when we do our religion and our science, our social studies, our language and literacy, and our math is during this time. We're not sitting the whole time when they're in the beginning of the school year. They can't sit for very long. It gets longer as we get through the school year. But we're also not just sitting, we're up and moving and dancing at this time, but that's where the majority of the conversations and the learning happen together. After the carpet time, we usually go outside, and then we come back inside for prayer snack. And then after this, we do a center time or our open free play time. And then during this time is when I pull the students or my aide pulls the students and we work one-on-one with them, or we do a group activity, which reinforces what we learned during that carpet time. I have a 10:30 morning dismissal, and some of my students go home. Not every class does. But then after that morning dismissal, I do a story time with our afternoon group. And then this afternoon group, after that, goes to lunch. And then we go back outside again. And then after this, we do nap time for about an hour, sometimes an hour and a half in the beginning, but it gets shorter as the year goes on. And then after the nap time, I usually do a lesson in the afternoon that reinforces that morning lesson, or we maybe do a whole new lesson also. And then we release at 2:30.
Skills should parents expect to have children come into preschool with at the beginning of the year? What are those skills that you're looking for at the beginning?
I think for 3-year-olds, it's just a willingness to want to be there and a willingness to try. I know sometimes they come in and they don't speak very well. So a lot of what we do in the beginning is just help them find the words to express themselves. And it's just, basically, I would say it's just a willingness to be there.
Mhm.
And how do you develop fine and gross motor skills throughout the school year?
So the fine motor is very important. We do with fine motor a lot of sensory things, such as like scooping and using tweezers and eyedroppers, that type of thing. Play-Doh, stringing beads, all of that's building up the fine motor in order to hold a pencil, which is the precursor to beginning to start writing. So that's the fine motor. The gross motor, we have gym once a week, and then we also go outside several times during the day. So we're building our large motor by skipping and jumping and climbing and all those things. So there's a lot, and it's not just outdoors or in the gym. We're doing it in the classroom also.
And can someone talk about the technology that you use in your classrooms?
We have the Clifford My Big World magazines that we use, and there's an online activity page that goes with that, and we do those together on the board. I also put songs up on there that have music videos and dances that go with them, so we use it a lot for that too. Every once in a while we'll do like a read aloud book on the projector. It's just easier to see instead of everyone gathering around the computer. It's bigger, and they seem to engage a little bit more with that.
I use it too, just to like show videos. If I want, like if I'm teaching a lesson about tornadoes, I can show like a video of a live tornado, or if I'm talking about hurricanes, they can see like what a hurricane looks like from space. So I use it to kind of reinforce some of my lessons. They can see pictures or videos to go along with them. And then I also use it, like you, Michaela, for music, like with Go Noodle, or books that are read aloud. We do one every week, like with a letter we're learning about. There's like an Alpha Tales book, and we always listen to that on the screen and stuff. So.
And can someone talk about how progress is monitored throughout the year?
So we do an assessment twice a year, one in the beginning of the year and then one at the end of the year. But we're assessing all through the year, documenting things that the children may be behind on or may accelerate at. So really we're assessing all year long, but we do have
The assessment that we use is called TS Gold.
Great. And can someone talk a little bit about TS Gold and what are some of the things that it looks at?
Well, it looks at all the developments of behavior, social, emotional, physical, all of them. And I think it has 89 different areas that we are assessing. And we do assess every day, all year long.
Great. And how do so you touched on student behavior. So how is student behavior monitored and how is it addressed? And Amy,
Well,
I believe you were.
yeah, I kind of, in my classroom, we use like the bucket filler theory. And basically, I teach the children what behavior is expected, how to be a good friend, how to be respectful and caring and kind to other people. And then I also teach them what it doesn't look like, how if you're hurting someone or being mean or something, that's being a bucket dipper. So the kids learn that behavior through teaching moments, through role play, through books and different videos. And then we have buckets that are in our classroom. We have a happy face, a frowny face, and a sad face. And daily when they come into the classroom, they put their person on the happy face. And if they make poor choices and are not bucket fillers, then they have to move their person down to frowny face. If they make another bad choice and is our bucket dipper again, they have to move their person down to sad face. But just because they move their person, they can also make bucket filler choices where they can move their person back up and they could end the day on the happy face, even if they made some poor choices in the beginning of the day. To communicate this with the parents, we have a daily behavior calendar that goes home in their folders, and each day they'll either have a happy face, a frowny face, or a sad face on it. And then if they are making frowny face or sad face choices, then there's a note on the back that explains what behaviors they were exhibiting, and then kind of so the parents can talk to them about it. In class, we also do a whole class behavior too, where they spell the word bucket filler, and if they're all working together and being bucket fillers and following the rules and stuff, then they get a letter each day. And then when they spell bucket filler, then they get a special surprise or something.
Great. Thank you. And we obviously know that students at certain times get upset. And so can someone talk about how they're comforted when they've made a poor choice or when they need just some extra support? Can someone talk about that?
Well, I can. Just like in my classroom, if sometimes kids need a little break away from everybody, if they're having a hard time talking or dealing with situations, and they might just go off with my aide for a few minutes just to have like a chance to calm down and talk through what's bothering them and just kind of take a break away from the problem. If someone is like really sad or upset, I'll put them on my lap, hug them and love on them. I mean, the motherly instinct comes out there a little bit, but I just try to make my kids feel welcome. So like every day when they come in the classroom, we have like a sign by the doorway, and they have to like high five or hug or wave or fist bump or whatever, so that they know that they're welcome and wanted in the classroom. Make them know that I know their name. I'm there to listen to them, get down on their level, just so they know I'm paying attention, and just make them feel like everything they say is important.
Thank you. And all of our teachers provide a very loving environment for the students and give them, hugs and opportunities to express themselves, so that they all do, and the aides as well, do an amazing job of doing that. And Heidi, I don't know if you can talk to that at all.
I can. I was just thinking that how comforted my kids are when they're at school, how they just they've loved all their teachers, and how nice it is to, when I know they're at school, that they're being well taken care of. And I know they miss all their teachers right now so much. So thank you for all you do.
So what if a child is falling behind when you're doing this progress monitoring and you're seeing that academically they're falling behind? What steps would you take?
In my classroom, if I notice a child is struggling or falling behind, I try to take time during circle time to kind of not signal them out, but I just pull like sticks and stuff so that they can get a chance to speak, because sometimes kids that know a lot will kind of take over. So I try to give everybody a chance to speak so I can see who needs a little extra help. And then during center time, I will reteach if necessary or change the lesson a little bit so it's adjusted to a level that they can understand it. I find different ways to present it. I might also adjust how we practice it. So let's say a child is having difficulty with one-to-one correspondence and they just cannot even get like that you see a number 1, I need to count out 1 object, and they can't get that. So other kids may be going to 10, I may just keep that child practicing 1 through 5, lower it down. There's other ways I might adjust as well, but if I also might give the parents resources at home that they can use to practice different worksheets, different websites, different things, so they can help their child also with that area they're struggling with.
Okay. Thank you. And can anyone speak to how we form the children in our faith? Obviously, we're a Catholic school and we're teaching the Catholic faith to our students. And so how does that work in your classrooms?
So in my classroom, we do religion every day, and we always have a lesson or a Bible story. And then also we do the virtue program. And this is different words like kindness and that I use daily in my classroom. And eventually the students get used to using these words also, and they know how to use the virtues also. So it's really a great program.
Great.
In my classroom, we talk a lot about being good friends and being friends of Jesus. And we talk about a saint a week and how they were a friend to Jesus. And it's just giving them language and words to use that express concern and love for each other.
And Heidi, this question's for you. How have you seen your children prepared for school from the preschool program, prepared for kindergarten from preschool?
I absolutely have. I think with all 3 of them, I've been impressed with how all the things that each teacher has taught them. With my youngest, she's a very young 5. She turned 5 in July. And I thought, oh, I don't know if she'll be ready for kindergarten. And she absolutely was. And I've said that over and over, like, wow, they were spot on. She's ready for kindergarten. She's doing great. So just really trusting the teachers. And I think even just, not even all academics, but just emotionally, like ready to sit in a classroom and, learn how to do all those things they have to do to be in school all day long. So yes, I think it's very beneficial to get them ready for kindergarten, to be able to take the whole day of kindergarten in. Is the preschool is so valuable for that.
Great, thank you.
And it does help that our kindergarten teachers are in the building with us.
Yes.
I mean, especially right next door to me in my classroom, so we can bounce ideas off of them too, which really helps. And then if the student isn't ready, then we have the Young Fives program also, which is very good too.
Right.
Okay. Thank you. Well, can we just go around to all 5 teachers and just say kind of what is your favorite thing about teaching preschool at MCES? So whoever would like to start.
Since it's my first year, one thing that I've noticed is just the atmosphere of teaching there. The people are wonderful. All the teachers care about the kids, and it's just a wonderful atmosphere to be a part of a group of people that care so much about the students and making sure that everyone is ready and everyone is prepared. So that's my favorite part about MCES.
Thank you.
I have a few favorite parts. The first one, of course, is expressing my faith, being free to share my faith with the children. I love watching how much they grow from the time that they start till they're finished and they're ready to go on to 4-year-old preschool. And I also love working with the faculty. Each and every one of them is such a beautiful soul, and I feel very blessed to work at MCES.
My favorite thing is, again, sharing my faith, like Mrs. McMillan said. I also love all my coworkers and all the faculty. We all get along with each other really great, and we work together really good. And also the parents and all the students are wonderful. I mean, the best thing for me is when I walk in that gym in the morning and I get hugs from 10 children. It's very rewarding.
I know I sound like repeat and repeat here, but I also agree with you that the faculty is awesome. I mean, to have people that are there to support you through every step of the way, to bounce ideas off of and just be your good friends is really awesome. And I also really appreciate the families at our school, because without their support and their love, I mean, we wouldn't be what we are. So thank you to everybody.
Yeah, I like everything about preschool. I love the kids, their stories, and I feel like we are more like a family in there. All of the co-workers, the whole staff, we work all together, and I love teaching preschool.
They just said that it is such a faith-filled community, and it does feel like a family. And when you're leaving your young children at school, it's just such a good feeling to be able to have that community feeling and know that they were looking after your children. And like they said, all the kids hug as they come in, and I've even hugged the teachers at times when they've helped me with things and teaching, me as a parent things at times. So just a really great community at that.
Thank you. Thank you. So Mrs. Welton, how would someone enroll in preschool if they were interested in enrolling?
There's a few options. They can call the main phone number and they would get transferred to my office. At this time, they would probably be best to just contact me through email until we are back in the building again. And we can email registration packets. And again, we can answer any other additional questions that weren't answered in this video today. If they have further questions, I'd be happy to go over that with them as well.
Great, thank you. Well, thank you again for all of you for being here. And we hope everyone is staying healthy during the COVID-19 pandemic. So stay healthy, keep washing your hands and all of those things. So take care.